So welcome back to SBR BTCC Legends at Autopolis Short Track, and this is round 5, and it's the finishing order of race 1. So Nathan still be on pole, and there we have it confirmed. Nathan ahead of, well, Tompkinson ahead of Edwards, ahead of McEwen, Cool, Piper, Columbero, Milden, and then Sargent. So Sargent with a great debut, as we covered in the last race, ahead of Welsh in 9th. So ready for the start, and it's difficult to know whether anyone can stop Tompkinson, but so we've seen Edwards get great starts in past races. Let's see if we can take it to him as they're away, and nope, it's Tompkinson with a great start, and he pulls away already, and everyone's off. Looks like no one's jumped the start this time, so everyone's away cleanly this time. And let's see what happens into the first turn, and a great move there by Piper, cleanly through up the inside of McEwen and up into 3rd place. So a rocket start for him, and everyone seems to have got round turn 1 cleanly, so great start to the race. And the pink cars are first and last at the moment, and he's going around the outside of Tompkinson trying to take the lead, and he has done it. And Piper up to 2nd as well by looks of it. Can he maintain that? Let's have a look. No, Tompkinson down the inside trying to take 2nd place back at least. He'll try and run Piper out a bit, doesn't actually give him space, and a big crash in the background, and that's Corker. He's sideways and there's cars everywhere. He's got it back and slammed into the side of Ross as well, and Riley involved in that is quite a lot of contact. And we'll go back and see what happens, and let's see then. Corkery is alongside Welsh, and they go into the hairpin together, and Corkery gets hit up the back, probably by the Vauxhall, and then clipped by Souters, who had the Vauxhall on the inside of him. So it's just a case of about 5 cars trying to get side by side through one corner, but it looked like it was all kicked off just before the hairpin. Didn't see what happened, but yeah, that's really ruined Corkery's race. Number 11 in the Seat is right down the back now, and 3 into 1 won't go, so how is this going to end? And they actually did go, so they all managed to get round, and there's a Vauxhall off in the background, and it looks like there's a Ford off as well, so we'll go back and have a look at that when we can, because at the moment this is the battle for the lead, and it looks like it's Adam that's leading. Piper and leading in the Vauxhall, and then the Ford's behind him, and Tompkinson trying to go around the outside. That's brave, and it looks like he might have got it done though. He'll get the overlap on the top of the straight there. Piper trying to move down the inside and stay there so that he can maintain the lead, but it doesn't look like he's done it, and Tompkinson retakes his usual position of the lead, with Piper trying to hold on to 2nd, but it looks like Edwards has got it, and here comes Cool down the inside as well, trying to get through, but there's a hairpin that turns right here, around the outside for Cool. That's probably not going to work, and it hasn't, and he needs to watch McEwen, who's trying to come through, and these two are joined at the hip again this race, having fought pretty much the whole of the first race. But let's go back and see what happened at the hairpin on the first lap, and it was Welsh, and he's turned into the corner. It looks like Sharp lost his braking point and slammed straight into the side of Welsh, and that wasn't ideal and totally out of character for Sharp, but we've heard that he's got a 5-second penalty for that after the race, and Cool's done it again on Sean O'Connor. He's lost it, he's gone off again, he's come back on just in front of his teammate Souters, and he's got through, and it looks like his teammate has taken the position as well, so down to 9th for Cool, and he's repeated the same mistake from the first race, which cost him a lot of positions then, and disaster for him. Meanwhile, Chris is in a fight with the recovering Sharp down the inside, number 84 in the year he's born, and it looks like he completes that move, so Sharp now starting to fight back after that incident. Tompkinson though leads, so, and it's still side by side with Piper and Edwards, with McEwen still watching brief, having taken a position after Cool's mistake, and it's Milden 5th, who's moved up 2 positions from the start, and it looked like Columbero there taking a dive down the inside, and he's done it. He's got past Sargent, so that's a good move from Columbero with his trademark move down the inside at the hairpin, which he seems to have got really well weighed off. But here's the battle for 2nd, and the 2nd down to 9th. So this is British touring cars at its best, and it's still Piper holding off McEwen. McEwen trying to go around the outside. That's probably not going to work. He's going to get run out, I would have said. So we look back, and now Colin off at Sean O'Connor, and he's returned to the track, but he's in 9th place, so he's dropped behind Sean, and it looks like it could be Souters as well. Yes, so he's behind the 2 Chevys. So So he's lost a lot of time there in the setup. Meanwhile, Piper trying to look back down the inside of McEwen, who did get that move done, so credit to him. And Chevy's running around in team symmetry, looking very tidy. Sharp in 11th, Ross in 12th, Riley in 13th, Corkery recovering in 14th, and Chris Craigie's way off at the back, so he's obviously had an incident as well. Maybe got caught up in that first lap incident. But into the hairpin we go again. It's Piper still maintaining that 4th place. The battle for second looks like it's going to be intense again. As Tompkinson runs away, Piper and Milden getting together here, 4th and 5th. And the Audi trying to attack the Vauxhall. So again, coming to this very, very tricky last corner. It's quite hard to know where to brake, and you can take a couple different lines. And that looks like a very late bit of braking there for Piper, but Milden's kind of followed him in. And in the background you can see the Chevy of Cool attacking the Laser Tools. I think it was a Mercedes of Will Sargent there. Sorry, I'll get the names right soon. And not quite managing to pull that one off. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. And we've got a little gap in the 6th, 7th and 8th. The Chevys are ganging up now on that Laser Tools car. I think Suitors is going to learn a little bit from that, and that looked like Cool was into the back of that Laser Tools car, but he hasn't taken a position, so he can maintain it. Milden looking feisty on the back of Piper, but still no overtaking manoeuvre yet. It's quite good for Welsh actually. He's up to 10th after that crash on the last corner of lap 1. He's already up to 10th, so making good progress. And Sargent is all over the back of Cool. But Cool has made the move, so that's we missed that. So he's obviously overtaking him coming out the hairpin and into that next corner. And Sargent says, "No, you don't, mate." And he's straight back down the inside, and Shauno's off again on Shauno corner again. And Sargent's waiting for him, so he feels guilty for that one. A little bit of contact, obviously, and yeah, he's done the right thing if he feels like he was at fault to let Cool back through. Meanwhile, Milden's all over the back of Piper, still not found a way through, trying to round the outside at turn 1 to cut back, but not quite finding the grip to do that yet. And a great drive at the moment from Suitors. He's up to 6th place, recovering. Columbero is attacking Sargent now. And this is the best battle I would say on the track at the moment. Milden attacking Piper, although this is starting to get feisty as well. McEwen against Edwards. The lead Chevy at the moment is Suitors, and he's just ahead of his teammate Cool. And there we say Welsh up to 10th, and his aggressor, let's put it that way, Sharp, is in 11th. But I'm sure they can laugh about it now. In fact, in the chat afterwards, I remember Welsh saying he was worried that Sharp had a stroke, so and just missed his braking point. But it's all good fun in the end, and that's just racing. A bit of contact there between Milden and Piper as this starts to really heat up. It looked like 2 different lines colliding there, but Piper maintains his position, and rightly so. A slipstream down this front straight. It's just not quite long enough, though, I don't think, to make the move. He's trying to get around the outside Milden, but it's not going to work unless he can get a good cutback. And maybe he has this time. He's done it this time. He's been working on that move for lap after lap, and now it's finally worked, and that will move Milden up into 4th place. And Piper knows it. He'll do well just to let him through and then follow and see if Milden can drag him up to the front too. Or the 2nd and 3rd place cars, sorry. Milden seems to have fairly good pace this week, but obviously the disaster of race 1, he's sort of trying to recover from that. But up into 4th now, so that's a good recovery. And here's the Chevy twins still going at it. With Suitors and Cool still fighting it out, trying to be the lead Chevy driver. And I don't think Suitors will fight this too hard, and he's not. He's got his indicator on to say, "Pass me on the inside." Whoever Cool's clever enough to realise that, he hasn't, but now he does. The big space opens up, and Suitors lets his team leader through. And that pits Cool up into 6th place, and now these two maybe can work together to pull in that gap in front of them to Piper in the Vauxhall and the Audi of Milden. Meanwhile, Thompson still leads Edwards 2nd in the number 51 car. Then it's 3rd for McEwen in the 41 car. Number 1 is 4th. Milden and then 5th for Piper, 6th for Cool, 7th for Suitors, 8th for Columbero, 9th for Sargent, and then 10th for Welsh. 10th for Welsh, who's from Devon. Yep, confusing. Sharp in 11th, then it's Ross of 12th, 13th for Corkery, and then 14th for Riley, and 15th for Craigie, who's like I say, cut adrift a little bit. Obviously he had a bit of a nightmare first lap. Pretty much at half distance now, or just gone half distance, and it's still pretty much as it was in the first race. Tompkins just running away, McEwen trying to save his tyres, the tight Scotsman driving on the grass, still maintains third in the gap over Milden, and everyone just a little bit thinning out at the minute, but never that far away from a battle when it's like this, because everyone's just trying to find their position on the racetrack. And you can see the gap that Cool's put into his teammate in one lap. He's really flying forward. He's got good pace in that car, but with all the battling, I don't think Nathan's really had much of a contest this week. It's just been a massive battles for second, third and fourth, and it's allowed him to get the gap, but maybe someone could have held on to him in the slipstream, we'll never know. But he's got this one made as well. It looks like Edwards has got second place made as well, because this third, fourth and fifth battle looks like it's going to close up, and like I say, Cool's not that far off the back in 6th. His teammate doing a good blocking job in 7th. Then it's Assayat in 8th, 9th for the Mercedes Laser Tools car, and the second car of Sargent. Again, great debuts from these guys. It's important to get new guys in that are fast, and these guys have proven fast already just on their first week. And there's a man that's ever improving, Mr. Welsh. Despite his beard, he's doing very well. And down the inside goes Milden again on Liam this time, but nope, not going to happen. Looks like the first race, McEwen's starting to suffer a little bit on tyres as we start to get into the latter stages of the second race. Again, McEwen moving up quite quickly onto the back of these guys. He should get there, I would have thought, before the end of the race, especially when they start battling, which we're expecting. I say McEwen's tyres starting to go off, and they'll start to hold people up. Suitors now with a very, very interested Columbero all over the back of him. Ooh. And Jeff thinking he's in his John Deere that was almost Oh Deere as he got two wheels onto the grass. Managed to recover. Jeff, a truck driver from America, certainly hauling ass in this race. He's trying his usual move down the inside. Can he move Suitors out and take the position? He's a little bit of contact, door rubbing, and he looks like he's got the position, but Suitors won't take that line down, and he doesn't. He attacks again at the next corner, trying to hold the inside line, and he can run out if he wants to, and he does. A little bit of contact with Columbero, but that's all fair. That's touring car racing, and that's about all you're allowed to do, really. So great bit of driving there by Suitors, and now Columbero down the inside again at the hairpin. Says, I'm not taking that. Don't care how old you are. I'm having you back, you youngster. Didn't work out. And great bit of battling that. That is proper touring car racing. One overtakes, the other one retaliates, and they carry on and stay on the track with a little bit of rubbing. That's what we like to see. Meanwhile, Milden now onto the back of McEwen, and here we go. They're still at it. It's not resolved. Suitors though maintains the position, and that's a bit naughty. He's pushed him onto the grass. He maybe didn't know he was there, or given the benefit of the doubt, but really should have given him a lot more room there. And Columbero just backs out of it for the moment. He's like, let's let this calm down a bit, and I'll try again. Can he try again at the hairpin, which we know he's very good at, and he can manage to turn the car really tight there? But nope, not managing to do it that time. But he's all over the back of him, and he got a bit held up there on the exit, and that's allowed Sargent involved in this battle now to get involved in this battle, and he's down the inside, and he's got a nice tight line there. It looked like Columbero was drifting out, and he has, but the outside line for the last corner is not ideal unless he tries to switch back. Doesn't look like he's got the space though, so Columbero should maintain the position, and he does. A little bit of a nudge at the back, but that's fine. And here's a battle for 12th for the recovering Corkery, who got nailed as well in the first lap, as we saw. And we've caught Brian Ross now. And there's Chris Craigie at the back. And here is the battle for 4th. Looks like Milden's dropped back a bit. Maybe he had an attempt on McEwen that's not gone well. And there's another demonstration of Piper's increased maturity, really. I guess you could say he would have normally gone for that move and down the inside, and both have been off in the gravel, but lived to fight another day, waited patiently and didn't overreact. And Colin Barrow trying again at his favourite hairpin. I'm going to have to rename that corner Jeff's corner. We've got Shauno corner, but that's definitely Jeff's corner. And there's Ash with his family man on the back. Yeah, family man Vauxhall driver. Probably got his shopping and his stuff to go to the beach in the boot. There's Craigie at the back. And look at the lead that Tompkinson's got. He's just walked away from everyone again. And second looks secure for Edwards. Third for McEwen at the moment. He's still got that slight lead over Milden, who's now got Piper just behind him and still got Cool just behind him. So the race really starting to close up now, and Colin Barrow down the inside again. That's a bit more of a feisty move, but not quite made. And Sutis lives again, and again quite impressed with the new guys driving fairly. There's still stuff that they could learn, but driving definitely get involved with it. Not afraid to get involved in the battles. That's what you can say, and showing great pace. I'm sure their teammates will be quite happy with them. Collecting good points for their team. Remember, this is team championships as well, so it's all to be considered. So we'll just have to see what is the outcome of this battle, but McEwen's still holding the slight advantage over Milden now. Milden's closing back in on that, and Piper and Cool still starting to get into a battle between the Chevy and the Vauxhall. We've seen that a few times already this weekend, and Milden now trying to go around the outside, and Cool's trying to go around the outside of Piper at the same time. So we'll keep a head cross on both of these battles and see what happens. In the background it looks like Colin Barrow and Suitors are still fighting it out. Milden around the outside, that's not going to work, and Liam Rightly pushes him out, and they're on the grass. The four-wheel drive system works well. Flashing lights from Milden, but really should have tried around the outside. Should know better than that. And Cool and Piper still at it, and here's that battle that I was mentioning. I could see in the background, and it looks like it's still as it was. Milden now all over the back of McEwen. McEwen really struggling at this late stage in the race. Still no change here, and then we go up to Jeff's corner. Will he try it? He does, and it works, and he's just forced the issue a little bit, and he's opened the door and he's through. Now, will Suitors take that or line down, or will he attack straight away? And he does attack straight away at that corner, and Colin Barrow has not learned his lesson, and a bit of contact mid-corner, and that's forced him out. And now Sargent's on the scene, and he'll try and send one down the inside at the hairpin, the last corner, and he should get that done quite easily. He does. So Jeff's gone from looking at 7th place to falling back to 9th. Nope, it's not over. There's still contact. Bit of a mid-corner sideways moment from Sargent has kind of got those two together, but it's all seems to sort itself out. But as we move into the last lap now, and it looks like it's going to be a win for Tompkinson as head of Edwards, with McEwen in 3rd, 4th and 5th and 6th isn't resolved, but McEwen's had a good defence and he's managed to hold him back so far. It's going to have to be a ballsy move, I suppose you could say, from Milden, trying to get through. And he's looking down the inside, there's a gap, but it's not, closes quite quickly, and it wasn't really on, so he backed out of it. Cool though, just banging on the back of the Audi trying to get through as well, so one mistake and you can lose 3 positions here. It looks like McEwen's going to hold on for 3rd though, around the outside. Milden trying a different line and just not on. And if McEwen holds the inside here, he should have this done. And a fake there from Milden. He does hold position, and a little bit of a push from Cole, but Milden holds 4th, and it's the win for Tompkinson. 2nd for Edwards. 3rd looks like it's going to be McEwen, and it is. And it's Milden 4th, Cole 5th, 6th for Piper, as quick as that. 7th for the ever improving Suitors. 8th for Sargent. 9th for Colin Barrow, and 10th for Welsh again in the top 10 for Welsh. So that's great, despite that coming together on lap 1. And that's a good drive from Welsh. Caught that group at the end as well. And there's his aggressor. 11th for Sharp, but he'll move back 2 places because of his penalty behind Ross and Corkery. So 13th in the end for Sharp. 14th for Riley, not as good as the first race, but still gets some points for his team and his championship. And last but not least is Christopher Craigie in the Gardex car. Just doesn't seem to suit him this track, but still scores points. So that's that race, and then we'll go back to the reverse grid for the last race of the meeting here at Autopolis.